the state of emergency here in Baltimore. How is it that traffic was stopped in time?
State law enforcement officers, they undoubtedly saved lives.
Should people be concerned about the safety of flying today? Closer to the Gaza border.
With the rise of artificial intelligence, there is one particular question that's on a lot of people's minds, right? Is a robot going to take my job?
But several companies are trying to shift the focus to how AI can actually improve your job. Here's NBC News Daily anchor and consumer investigative correspondent Vicki Wynn.
Hey there, we have talked a lot about how automation has reduced the need for some manual labor jobs, but it has also created new opportunities for people to go from worker to technician, trainer, or even manager of these new technologies. It's known in the business as upskilling. Here's a look at how some of the world's biggest companies are doing it and how workers are taking advantage.
When it comes to lifting boxes, loading pallets, or even picking and sorting items, no question, robots can do this better and faster than humans with no risk of injury. A recent report found 37% of workers surveyed are worried about automation putting jobs at risk, but 73% think technology can never replace the human mind. Nearly 3/4 say they're ready to learn new skills or retrain to remain employable.
Wow. So this is your new office?
Yes, ma'am. This is my office. Welcome aboard.
Consider Jackie Burton one of them.
Holy cow. So you're attached to a 53-foot trailer back there? Yes, ma'am.
A year ago, she was an order filler at Walmart, picking groceries for delivery. But as the company automated her job, she pivoted, enrolling in Walmart's Associate to Driver program. After 18 weeks of training, she became a certified Walmart private fleet driver and now makes 6 figures a year.
Is that a lot more than you wanted?
It is. I'm definitely in a better position for setting up my future.
It is the next great industrial revolution.
Chance Bayless used to work as an unloader for Walmart.
This used to be where you worked when you came in every day.
Correct.
Inside of trailers like this, loading and unloading pallets.
That's right. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year.
But 2 years ago, his manager suggested he enroll in a 2-month automation training program. Upskilling allowed him to train to be an automation equipment operator, making up to $27 an hour. The goal puts him on a path to manager roles with annual salaries of $60,000. Now, his day involves monitoring these 2 robots as they build pallets of Walmart goods. He intervenes when the bots get confused by simple things like a box falling on the side, or when the computers detect a problem.
That's the great thing.
I expected more from you.
Someone who's in a situation where automation is coming to their workplace.
Anyone can do this. It's not just a job anymore. It's now a career.
Building those careers also the focus at Amazon. By 2025, the company will invest $1.2 billion to help more than 300,000 U.S. employees get into higher-paying careers through upskilling with free education and training.
We want to invest in everyone.
Ofori Okroja is Amazon's Vice President of People for Global Operations. What would you say to someone, an employee who's like, there's so much happening? Where would you tell them to start?
I'd say get excited about it. Ask your supervisor, ask your leader, ask HR. These opportunities are going to continue to grow. We've created hundreds of jobs in the area of robotics.
Since launching its Mechatronics Robotics Apprenticeship in 2020, a free 18-month program, more than 1,700 graduates now work in tech-focused roles, with many seeing pay increases of 40%. Their newest initiative is AI Ready. It's open to the public. You don't have to be an Amazon employee. The program provides free AI skills training.
We want to invest in everyone. Our goal as Amazon is we want to empower anyone who's interested in exploring a technical career. And we want to make access easy and accessible and affordable to people.
And that really is the key to all of this, access to skills training for these jobs. We know Walmart and Amazon laid off tens of thousands of workers last year due to a combination of automation and cost cutting. But as you saw, many new jobs are also being added. Back to you.
Vicki, thank you. Coming up, why one family's pet octopus has people on the internet glued to their screens.
So it's time for today's Daily Snapshot. Their life, Rosie the Riveter's gathered on Capitol Hill to be honored in a very special way. Dozens of women received the Congressional Gold Medal for their efforts during World War II. They represent all of the women who stepped into jobs previously held by men to help with wartime efforts in the United States. Pretty cool. More NBC News Daily after this.
Yourself on the ground there today. This is two things. It is pretty big medical news. It is also a pretty big mystery. And oh, by the way, it's driven by one of the most controversial people in the United States. What's happening? They have tweaked my monitor, and I can see that you are, in fact, soaking wet. I am deeply sorry. I apologize for many questions.
Bottom of the hour now. Here are some of the stories making headlines on NBC News Day.
In Utah, water is pouring out of a rural dam through a 60-foot crack and is putting a nearby town at risk. Officials discovered the crack on the dam is not in immediate danger of breaking open, but residents have been told to be prepared to evacuate. Officials believe an ice sheet on the reservoir has pushed up against the dam, causing the top to crack. They're trying to lower the lake level to relieve pressure, but that could take several days.
FBI Director Christopher Wray warned Congress of an elevated threat level on U.S. soil, saying, "I'd be hard-pressed to think of a time where there are so many threats to our public safety and national security, where so many were so elevated all at once." Wray is concerned individuals or small groups will draw inspiration from events in the Middle East or carry out a coordinated attack similar to the deadly assault on the Moscow concert hall just a few weeks ago.
And take a look at this. This help sign made of palm tree leaves led to the rescue of 3 stranded sailors who were spotted from the sky by the U.S. Coast Guard who were searching for the missing men. They were stuck on an inhabited island in the Pacific for more than a week. The Coast Guard says they were recovered with no health issues and survived like microbes.
Dallas police have issued an arrest warrant for Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. Rice admits to being involved in that high-speed crash last month. He was driving a Lamborghini when he collided with other vehicles on a Dallas highway. On social media earlier this month, Rice said he takes, quote, full responsibility for his part in what happened. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson joins us now outside Dallas Police headquarters. So, Priscilla, Rice and his attorneys, they say he's cooperating. So I'm curious why an arrest warrant was even issued. Why didn't he just turn himself in to begin with?
Yeah, so it's unclear why that happened, and we may not know until we actually read through the reports and get copies of the arrest warrant. But what we do know is that that warrant has been issued on 8 felony charges, including 1 count of assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 2 counts of collision involving injury. Now, as for whether or not Rice has turned himself in, again, that is another question. We've reached out to the Dallas Police Department to confirm that whether he is or is not in custody, but as of last night, he was not yet in custody, but with those warrants, and arrest him at any time now. And one thing to note about him turning himself in, he does not have to come here to Dallas Police Headquarters. He could turn himself in at any police department in the state of Texas, so he might choose to do so at a smaller, lower profile police station, and we wouldn't know until we see the paperwork that he has been taken into custody and bonded out. Kate?
And Priscilla, have we heard from the Chiefs or the NFL since the arrest warrant was issued?
Yeah, so the NFL has said that they are continuing to monitor developments. We've also reached out to the Kansas City Chiefs. They have not responded to our request for comment. But I will note that the president of the Chiefs team said days after this crash occurred that they would be looking at all of the facts, and that once the facts were all out there, they would take action accordingly. Kate?
All right, Priscilla Thompson for us. Priscilla, thank you.
It is World Parkinson's Day, observed each year to raise awareness about the disease. Parkinson's can cause tremor, stiffness, or slowness, but 2 young college students are on a mission to help. They've invented a tool to make one of life's daily tasks a little bit easier. Here's NBC News correspondent Valerie Castro.
Putting pen to paper and writing by hand.
This is getting smaller.
People with Parkinson's know it's a skill too often taken for granted.
My handwriting is very small, and then it became increasingly difficult to read.
61-year-old Jim Young was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 4 years ago, the disorder affecting his voice and handwriting. But a new device is giving him back the ability to write.
What did you think when you first heard about something like this?
I thought this was awesome.
Young became an early tester of the SteadyScript, a pen specifically created to help Parkinson's patients more easily write by hand.
What does it mean to you to have something in your hand that you can write something as simple as your name?
It's very empowering. It enables me to maintain my independence.
Co-founders Izzy Mokotov and Alexis Chan, students at Northwestern University and sorority sisters, came up with the idea after Mokotov's grandfather was diagnosed with the disease, putting a stop to his tradition of sending weekly handwritten letters.
He actually lost his ability to write, which was not only a functional loss for him, going to the doctor's office, any sort of legal matters, writing grocery lists, solving the crossword, but also a loss of something he truly loved to do.
Chan, a biomedical engineering student, put her studies and skills to work.
Because everything's made on a 3D printer, it's computer animated design.
The design seems simple, a magnetic clipboard with a few small magnets to hold the paper in place. And then there's the pen.
We have the weighted core that facilitates intentional writing movement. And then finally, we have a wide, pliable, and triangular grip that allows people with manual rigidity to hold our pen with ease and comfort.
Now that a manufacturer is on board, the SteadyScript pen set could be in hands as soon as this summer.
Nearly 1 million people in the U.S. are living with Parkinson's, only second to Alzheimer's as the most common neurodegenerative disease. Mokotov's grandfather passed away last year.
There's no point in hiding.
We did something in his honor that would help not just him, but he had a real vision of this helping so many other people like himself.
Other people like 78-year-old Sissy Lax, a lifelong writer and another SteadyScript tester.
It was really hard to write before, now I can write so fast. It's just such a personal way of communicating. You didn't sit at a computer and you didn't use artificial intelligence. You actually wrote the thing.
getting a grip on Parkinson's with the power of a pen. Valerie Castro, NBC News.
An incredible story, Valerie. Thank you. Well, in today's Daily Health, there's a new CDC study looking at the barriers that keep women from getting routine mammograms.
It finds that in addition to costs and access to health care, women are more likely to skip out on screenings because of health-related social needs, as they put it. Joining us now on set is Dr. Lucky Sikhan. She's an OBGYN and infertility specialist at RMA of New York. It's nice to see you. Thank you for being with us. So I just mentioned this. The CDC talks about what they quote, social needs is how they put it. They're saying that things are preventing women from getting those mammograms. What are they talking about?
They're talking about any sort of barrier to women accessing health care or just even knowing that they need to get a mammogram or getting to the mammogram appointment. So this could include things like food insecurity, where that really becomes the primary focus, and health prevention or doing your mammogram becomes a secondary need, or access to reliable transportation to get you to your appointment. There are people who are uninsured or have a low income, and those have been identified as risk factors for people not adhering to the recommended screening.
So what can be done to increase access to screenings given the many barriers women face?
We as a society need to take a multifaceted approach, and it starts with us. Physicians, providers need to be assessing their patients for these needs, and if they identify these needs in their patients, being able to refer them to different programs that can help them with things like food insecurity and access to transportation and just giving support overall. But also we as a community need to be building up programs to make sure that these inequities don't exist. And we need to be educating everyone as a whole so that they understand the importance of getting this preventative screening.
And know that if you're someone going to the doctor and you have some of those challenges, you can name it to them.
Yeah, say that to your doctor. It's a fair point, right? And so guidelines, I feel like, have been kind of all over the place for when to get a mammogram. So what is the current? After 40 is when you should think about starting to get mammograms?
Yes, for people who are at average risk of getting breast cancer, now the consensus is that you can start as early as 40. The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force recently changed their guidelines. They used to say every 2 years starting at 50, and as of last fall, they lowered that age to 40. And
every 2 years?
Still every 2 years, but there are other guidelines from the American Cancer Society, for example, that say if women want to, they can start as early as 40 and do this every year. But really, their recommendation is to start at 45 all the way up until 54, and at that point, maybe start every other year.
And beyond screenings, what can women do to reduce their risk?
So lifestyle plays a huge role. So, avoiding or cutting out alcohol completely, because we know that's a risk factor. Being active, exercise, maintaining a healthy weight. If you have a strong family history, making sure that you're talking to your doctor about that, considering genetic screening, and maybe even considering starting your screening earlier than 40 and doing it more often than every year.
All right, Dr. Lucky Sikhan, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Well, an unusual item is flying off the shelves at Costco.
The big box retailer is reportedly